They didn't listen. They ignored you. They didn't take you seriously. Right? But what if they heard exactly what you said? Not what you meant. What you actually communicated. With your voice, with your tone, with your face, with your silence. Because here's the truth. The meaning of your message is the response you get. You tried. You explained. You made sense, at least to yourself. But they pulled away, misunderstood, pushed back. So you told yourself, they're not listening. They don't get it. They never hear me. But what if that's not it? What if your words, your energy, your timing didn't land? Not because you're wrong, but because communication isn't just about sending, it's about receiving. And if your message doesn't get received, then it's not finished. You don't get to decide how someone reacts. You only get to observe what they actually do. Their face, their eyes, their silence. That's your feedback. If they pull away, that's information. If they react with confusion, you just learned something. Not about them, about your delivery. If the response doesn't match your intention, change the delivery. That's power. We think communication is words. It's not. Words are 10%. The rest lives underneath. Tone, body, energy, emotion. You can say, I'm fine 100 ways, and mean 100 different things. People don't react to what you say. They react to what they feel from you. Your message travels on energy, not grammar. Let's say you ask, can you help out more? And the other person shuts down, gets defensive. You try again. Louder, more frustrated. Still nothing changes. Now what? You pause, you shift. You stop trying to be right and start trying to be effective. You reframe, you soften. You ask, how can I say this so it actually gets heard? Communication is not a hammer, it's a key. If it doesn't unlock anything, you're using the wrong one. Real power is not in how strong your words are. It's in how flexible you are. If they don't hear you, say it another way. Say it slower. Say it softer. Say it with their language, not yours. If you want to connect, you have to adjust. Not manipulate. Just meet them where they are. Because the goal isn't to be right. The goal is to be understood. If your message didn't land, it's your move, not theirs. You are the communicator, the translator, the messenger. The message is not finished until they understand. So rewrite, rethink, resend. Because the outcome you get is your communication, not theirs, yours. Most of how you communicate, you didn't choose. You learned it, copied it, absorbed it. From parents, from school, from silence, from chaos. You learned how to react, how to shut down, how to push through, how to win. But did you ever stop to ask, does it work? Does it connect? Because habits aren't sacred, and history isn't destiny. You might say, but this is just how I talk. Or, this is just how I am. But what if just how you are is actually just what got repeated the most? Repetition isn't truth. Comfort isn't clarity. Just because a pattern is familiar doesn't mean it's useful. You're not here to defend your style. You're here to evolve your impact. Especially in relationships, romantic, professional, family. We want to be heard, seen, felt. But when there's tension, we blame the other person's filter. Instead of checking the volume on our own message, you say, I never meant it that way. They say, well, that's how it felt. Here's a truth. You're responsible for the intention, but also for the delivery, because they can't hear what you meant if it's buried in defense. So what do you do when your words don't work? First, pause. Don't repeat. Don't escalate. Don't assume they're broken. Then, reflect. What energy was I in? What was my real message? What did their face tell me? Where did I lose them? Now, try again, but differently. Change the pacing. Lower your tone. Soften your language. Or ask instead of declare. Every new approach is a test, and the response is your result. You can speak to be right, or you can speak to be heard. You can speak to protect your ego, or to build the bridge. You choose, because words are just sounds until they land in someone else's world. And that only happens when you leave your comfort zone and enter theirs. That's not weakness, that's mastery. So here's what happens. You realize you've been repeating what never really worked. You speak how you were taught. You respond how you were trained, and you expect it to land. But it doesn't. Not like you want it to. And deep down, you know, you have to say it differently. You begin by noticing, not fixing, not forcing, just noticing how your body tenses when you're not heard, how your voice rises when you feel dismissed, how you shut down or smile or rush your point. That awareness, that's your entry point. Because you can't change what you don't feel, and you won't feel what you always avoid. Then comes the shift. You realize the person in front of you isn't the enemy. They're a mirror. They show you what's working and what's not. That silence, feedback, that tension, a clue, not a failure, a signal, not to stop, but to adjust. So you speak again, but you breathe first. You soften, you reframe, and the response shifts. Maybe not a full breakthrough, but a crack, a pause, a door opens. Because when real connection happens, it doesn't sound like victory. It sounds like quiet understanding. Here's the deepest truth. You trained people how to hear you, through patterns, through tone, through reaction. Now, you can retrain them. But only if you retrain yourself first. Not to become someone else, but to sound like the version of you that doesn't need to fight. Just speak, calmly, clearly, powerfully. And the next time it doesn't land, don't shut down, don't blame, reset. Speak again, but this time, less armor, more presence, less noise, more meaning. Because you're not here to be louder, you're here to be deeper. That's how your message finally lands. That's how they finally hear you. That's how it finally works. If this spoke to something deep in you, subscribe if you want more content like this. Not hype, not noise, just the calm truth. Your story isn't finished. Let's keep rewriting it together.